Because you could be taking up so much time deciding on the right institution, you could probably miss the deadline on that institution and not be able to apply. Welcome back to the third video of the series, how to apply for universities and colleges in Canada. So I was just reading up some news on a report which ranks some of the top universities on the likeliness of their students getting a job after graduation. And there were 8 universities from Canada that made it to the top 20 in the list, which is amazing. But let's get into today's video. In this video, I'll give you a very detailed step-by-step guide on how to apply for the universities that you want to go to. Hoping that you saw my last video and now you can make more mature decisions on selecting the right university for you. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Hopefully over this series I'm giving you guys valuable stuff where you're getting to learn a lot of new things about this whole immigration process as a student, because the next video is going to be one of the most important videos where I share with you how to apply for your visa to Canada. So subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified about my next video. So I'll group this video in 8 steps and I'll just get started right away with the first step. Decide and shortlist which institutions you want to apply for. Hoping that you have seen my last video, now I can assume that you probably know how to select the right institution for you. Shortlist 3 institutions that you want to go to, because you don't want to be spending a lot of money by applying to 10 institutions. It's also a good range because in case one university doesn't accept you, you still have 2 others to choose from. Step 2, decide on a program. In my first video, if you remember, I told you look at your skill sets and try to connect that to where you want to be. So depending on where you want to be, you probably have chosen your program by now. Also, to make it more visual, now I'll show you how you can actually navigate through the programs that an institution offers so you can select the program of your choice. So let's say we want to find all the programs that University of Toronto offers. So you go into their website and first thing you look for is future students, because you will be a student in the future, hopefully. Now start looking for programs of study. It's usually pretty simple to find that. Usually they also have a quick access menu to look at all the programs of study. And that's basically all the programs they offer. To show you another example, let's say you want to look up all the programs that McGill University offers. And then you basically do the same thing. And there you go. Here are all the programs that McGill offers. And that's how you browse through all the programs, learn about it. Sometimes you will find that there are certain tabs that actually describes what your career looks like after you graduate from this program. Step 3. Check deadlines and make sure you meet the admission requirements. One of the most important things you want to be doing is always be prepared. So you want to check when is the last date to apply for this program and what are the admission requirements for this program. Because you could be taking up so much time deciding on the right institution, you could probably miss the deadline on that institution and not be able to apply. Note that application deadlines actually vary by program, and it can be as early as 7 months even before your program starts. So make sure to submit your application as early as possible as an international student, because it's common sense. If you apply after the deadline, you won't get in. Now, how do you check out the admission requirements? Let's get into that. So start again with Future Students tab. Now, because you're an international student, admission requirements are different for you. So you have to find the International Students tab, and usually you'll be able to tell if you're in the right place, as you can tell obviously. Now start browsing through the tabs, and you can either go through the requirements or just look for the program and check the requirement for the specific program. Let's say you want to study chemical engineering. So these requirements are for Canadian students. But you are looking for one of these curriculums. If you studied British curriculum, then click this. Let's see what we got here. This is exactly what you're looking for. I'm sure you're familiar with IGCSE and GCE by now. So scroll down. This is it. There you go. Those are the requirements for this specific program. So carefully go through this and learn about the grades you need for your program. Some programs might have additional requirements. It could be higher grades or more documentation, so check with your program and make sure you meet all those criteria. Note that some programs tend to be more competitive, and just having high grades doesn't really guarantee you an admission. Step 4, get your documents ready. Most of the time, in terms of documents, you need your school transcripts, your grades, your IELTS results, and letters of recommendations. Again, that could vary depending on the program and depending on the institution, so make sure you check with your institutions what documents you would exactly need. If your transcript isn't in English or French, you need to make sure that it is translated by a certified translator to English. In my experience, most English medium students provide their students with an English transcript. If you're thinking about it, sadly you cannot really fake a transcript because all transcripts will be verified for authenticity. Step 5, gather your letters of recommendation. So most programs actually require you to provide a letter of recommendation. This is an important piece of your application, so you want to make sure the person you're getting your letter of recommendation from actually has a significant role in your school. It could be your teacher, it could be your principal, or it could be your school coordinator. For your application, you will need at least 2 letters of recommendation, and make sure that you request these letters of recommendation from your teachers early enough so you don't have to cram things in last minute. In the letters of recommendation, you need to make sure that they state their current job title with the institution as well as provide their email addresses. The letter of recommendation has to be in English and has to be on the letterhead of your school. Your letter of recommendation cannot be from a family member, cannot be from your friends or any students in your class. So make sure to get a good letter of recommendation from your teachers because it does really help with your application. Step 6. Find out about the language proficiency requirements. You must understand what is the minimum level of language proficiency requirement that's needed for your program. Usually they ask for an IELTS score of 6.0, but that could vary depending on the institution. It could be at 6.5 or it could be at 7. Step 7. Upload your documents. Now you have gathered all these documents and it's time to upload them. Where do you do that? You can do that in 2 ways. One, you can do that through the student portal of the university or the college you're applying for, or you could do it on OUAC 105F portal. It's recommended that international students actually use the OUAC 105F portal because it's just easier to have all the university application processes in one place and it just makes more sense. Once you've created an application with the OUAC portal, you will be able to add and select the universities that you want to apply for. I know you have a lot of questions right now, so I have attached a detailed guide on how to navigate through the OUAC platform to make it a lot more easier for you. So check that out in the description below. Also, applications for each university that you apply for isn't actually free. Just to let you know, there are fees associated with your applications for the universities or colleges that you're trying to apply for. For the OUAC application, it costs you 156 Canadian dollars, which is the base rate, to apply for 3 universities, and that's covered within the $156. But if you want to add one more university or college to it, it will cost you $50 on top. And because these institutions will have to verify the authenticity of your documents, they will also charge you a supplemental fee, which varies by institution. Check out the link in the description to see all the supplemental costs associated for the institution that you're trying to apply for. Okay, here's where the anxiety kicks in. Step 8, waiting for the decision. So by now you have submitted your application and it's just a waiting game. But here are some things that you should expect. You will get an email from the institution confirming that they have received your application. You should make sure that you get this email. If you haven't, that means your application was never received by the institution, which means you'll never hear from them. So double check your emails and make sure that you see that email of confirmation where they acknowledge your application. You'll hear about a decision within 4 to 8 weeks, and make sure to keep an eye out on your OUAC portal, checking for any messages or any updates to your application. And also, this is a good time to look into scholarship programs that the institution offers and you start applying for them. Admission decisions are usually final. However, you can appeal a decision based on the following factors. It could be that you resat for an exam and your grades are now better. It could also be that you failed to submit a missing document and now you are able to provide them with it, or there was an error in the decision process. And if you believe one of those factors apply for you, you should email the university's admissions office and request them to review their decisions. And that being said, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you learned a lot about how the application process works for the universities and colleges in Canada. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to get back to you. And hey, things can get a little complex in this process, but you need to stay patient and take your time to learn. And that's the end of that. Like this video if you liked it. Also follow me on Instagram at @site_zihad, and I will share a personal tip with you on how to speed up the process from 4 to 8 weeks to 4 to 5 weeks. Learn more about me there and message me and ask any questions. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Ciao.